Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Chatty. So excited for us to get started and interview tonight's guest. All right, let's do this thing. She got it all under control. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you? This is your
Good.
first time doing this, and you just requested me. You're all set. Got it. Nailed it.
Nervous there.
You did my job for me, so we're all taken care of.
What's going on?
Not much. Having a good day. How are you doing?
Good. I saw that you were at Warwick Docker earlier.
I was at Word DACA this afternoon. I met up with a friend I know from college. I hadn't been there in such a long time, so it was super fun. Have you been there before?
No, I have not, unfortunately, but it's on the list.
Yeah, I live in right outside of Olney, and there's 4 of the breweries. It's Lone Oak, Word DACA, Brookville, and Alder Pine are all right near me.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, it's pick and choose which ones to check out. But I was there earlier and it was really fun. You have to check it out. Super fun. They have the horse farm right there. So
cool. Right
definitely
on.
check it out. So let me introduce you. Super excited to have you. Glad we're finally making this happen.
Super excited.
Hello. What'd you say?
Super excited to be here.
So glad to have you. So hi, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Chatty. Chatty is an opportunity for young entrepreneurs and young people doing awesome things to have an opportunity to share their stories, do their thing, and tell everyone what they're about. So this evening, our guest is Malinda Inthavong, and she is absolutely wonderful and is the general manager of Silver Branch Brewing Company. Brewery? How do you?
Silver Branch Brewing Company. Exactly.
Brewing. All right, got it right the first time. Perfect. Silver Branch Brewing Company in downtown Silver Spring. I got to check it out a couple months ago with one of my best friends, and the beer is phenomenal. So definitely go check it out when you get the opportunity. But she is here to share with us about beer and some cool things, but we are going to dig way deeper than that. She's got so many awesome things going on, so I'm very excited to have you.
Sweet. Thanks for having me. Really excited to just talk about all the different things and represent women in beer. I feel like we're, unrepresented, not enough. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. After you and I got to talk behind the scenes a little bit, if I'm going to even call it that, Malinda shared with me about her goals for the future and the things she has coming for the world. And you guys are in for something. She is going to change the world and do awesome things for so many people, impact so many communities and the community around her, but also expand in so many other ways. So I'm very excited for her to have the opportunity to share all of that this evening, and also for you to watch it happen and follow her and see her journey and make those things happen. So do you want to kind of introduce yourself and share a little further?
Sure. So my name is Malinda Inthavong. I am the General Operations Manager at Silver Branch Brewing Company. We're located on Colesville and 2nd Avenue, where it meets at the bottom of the hill by the courthouse in downtown Silver Spring. I started working there before it was even built out. I was hired and interviewed in a space where they were still building it out. So I went and interviewed with my manager at the time, Brandy, and I had no experience at all in the service industry. So
Right.
I went and I interviewed for a position as a server. Mm-hmm. So I knew nothing about craft brewing. Everything that I've learned thus far has been just by kind of being thrown into the fire. And so interviewed, and I was able to kind of just learn super fast from everybody that was around me. So
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so you started and have worked your way up and are now working in the brewing industry, which is so cool. And I feel like one of the reasons I reached out to you in the first place is because I was first of all, I like the beer where you work. I was this is super delicious. It's super fun. But also because I feel like breweries are kind of a vibe for people, and also a place right now for me during quarantine. and you've probably felt this too, because there's like the outdoorsy aspect. There's been a lot of opportunity for people to really socialize and do their thing, like meet new people, kind of like get a drink and do all of these cool things. And it's just like a fun place to be, you know? So, yeah, just super awesome. But so what kind of got you started, and why did you decide to get into the brewing industry? Like, why did you decide that that was a place that you wanted to interview at and get started?
So I had been in the dental field for about 6 years.
Dental.
Dental field.
Okay.
In Chevy Chase, I worked for an endo for 6 years, and I was very fortunate to be in an industry that gave me flexibility. So I was able to travel a bunch, and when my boss at the time would leave, I'd be able to take off 2 or 3 weeks at a time to travel. So being
That's
able
nice.
to go to Europe a couple of times and the Caribbean and things like that. So
Go
after
do.
that, I kind of was searching for something a little bit deeper. You know,
Great.
like I wanted to kind of move my career path into something that I enjoy doing. And what comes natural to me is just hospitality and just connecting with other folks and just meeting people and like kind of
Sure.
hearing their story.
That
So
socialization aspect, that like people
yeah,
think brings people together. Something about craft beer. I don't know what it is.
exactly. So then I took a leap and I kind of quit my job, had a little bit of time in between, like a month in between, and I saw this post on Craigslist and I was like, wow, well, this is a startup business. Like, why not take the opportunity to check it out, interview? I have nothing to lose. So basically, I've been able to grow with the business so what better way to learn, right? Than just go to somewhere that everything is already kind of established.
For sure.
So now I get to be a part of the decision making and kind of have more influence and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And so working over the course of probably the last year, like going to breweries is one of my favorite things. Like you said, I was at Rodacker earlier today. There's so many different breweries all over Maryland, DC, like so many fun places, and they're all so different. And I feel like it's such a vibe, so fun. And like I said, the people aspect is so cool, especially during quarantine. We
Yeah.
don't get to be around people, so we still get to do that. So do you have a favorite type of beer, or like have you picked and choose anything that you really like?
So right now at Silver Branch, we have a little of something for everyone. We do different styles. We do the Americas. We do Belgium. We do European styles. So a little something for everybody. So right now, my favorite beer would be Glass Castle. That's our Czech style Pilsner. We're like second in the U.S. to have Czech tower, be able to fob the head of the beer, which is really cool. So it can make the head of the beer frothier, milkier. So that's my favorite style right now. We also came out with Delusional Optimist 2 recently, which is a hazy IPA. In a couple weeks, we will be releasing Eternal Optimist. And my colleague, Erin Young, she's our marketing manager. She's actually going to be the first solo woman on the can. So shout out to Erin.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a triple hazy IPA. So that's very exciting. So look,
very strong too, right?
Yeah.
that's the stuff you take home with you.
ABVs.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, we do can all of our beers and we do mass distribute. So we also do delivery.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, you can definitely take some beer home with you if you are, staying home during this time. With everything with COVID, it actually allowed us to kind of create a new aspect of our business, which is the delivery aspect. So we can kind of bring the experience that you would similarly have in the tap room to your home, like the good beer, the good vibes, so yeah.
For sure. So Malinda, we've probably talked on and off for the past month, and recently I learned that there's so much, not that I ever underestimated or thought otherwise, but there's so much more to than beer. So honestly, a majority of this chat, I want to focus on the things that you're going to do in the future, because it's huge. It's going to impact the community. It's going to impact the world. It's going to be great. So I'm going to ask a couple beer questions and then we'll move on to that stuff, because like I said to you the other day, this is the opportunity for you to share and do your thing.
Yeah, cool.
Like, I'm really just here to listen. So because I love craft beer so much and such a big fan, I personally am wondering, and I know so many other people are too, but so while working in the industry of craft beer, have you learned a lot about the process of brewing, or as a general manager, do you feel like you're more so like overlooking the people stuff?
So I get to look over people, but I also have been part of the brew process. We did
Mm-hmm.
a Power Boots dry hop pilsner not
Wait,
too
start
long.
over. The power what? What'd you say?
Power Boots dry hop pilsner. I have a can right here.
Oh, she's prepared. She's got it. Okay.
So
This
the women
actually
in
helps
my,
with the
the
question
women in
that I
my
have next.
management,
So this is good. Okay, go ahead.
the women in my management team actually and I were able to be a process of the brew. So I guess in March of 2019, right before everything happened, everything shut down, we released Power Boots, which we are going to be releasing Power Boots 2 soon.
Power too.
So we got to mash in, do all the things, learn about different hops and kind of be there for the brew day alongside the brew team. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Our CEO, Christian Lakey, was there to direct us and help, explain everything. And it's definitely, teaches you patience to do, the whole process. It's not, something that you can do in, a couple days or even a week.
Right.
Brewing takes time, so come up with the recipe and all of those things. So super exciting.
No, and I think that makes it so much more authentic and so real, because like when you go to a brewery, oftentimes, like, I know my preferences. I'm like an IPA sour drinker, but then I also could be like, so what do you like? Like
Yeah,
always.
yeah.
So when people that work at the establishment or wherever I am, even if it's a restaurant or whatnot, has been a part of the process and really understand and know, I feel like that's so beneficial. And that's something I would totally love to learn more about, is like the process of how the beer is made, because even though it's like the similar style, they are also different.
Yeah. At Silver Branch, everybody that works there is encouraged to get their Cicerone certified beer server. So as a Cicerone, there's 4 different levels. So
I don't even know what that means.
Equivalent to kind of like a wine sommelier. So they're certified
They're
beer
like a
server.
professional kind of thing.
Yeah. Then it's Cicerone, Advanced Cicerone, and then Master Cicerone. So we definitely, the education level is there, and we are encouraged to kind of just learn more to be able to educate patrons more on what we do and the proper handling of beer, just the different beer styles all over the world, and Silver Branch does pay for that first beer server test, so that's really cool. We give everybody like a tasting book by Randy Mosher, so then we reimburse you for the test, and it was actually pretty harder than I thought it was going to be. It's like a 60 question test in 30 minutes, and you have to get like a 70 to pass. But
I get so nervous about that. I'm not good at taking that out.
Seems get degrees, so
I know, for real.
Right. So yeah, it's also a challenge. This was my first managing job.
Right.
I went from 0 coworkers to managing a group of people, and I have to say that managing through this pandemic and learning how to manage through this pandemic has really opened up my eyes to be not just more compassionate, but just think of others as a whole. Really doing your part to like stay home and social distance and things like that, like, and translate that through others is really important.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think with what you and I have spoken about, and just even the things that you've shared just now, it's evident that you've moved up really quickly. But the reason that the management and everyone trusted you is because you give off something good. Like the people that come in like trust you and like want to be around you and like confide, like just a lot of good things. And so like they see good energy, like you're giving off awesome things, and so they see great things in your future. So for you to move up and be doing all these wonderful things is great in such a short amount of time.
It's really kind of you to say.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, at Silver Branch, we practice Gemütlichkeit, which is a German word meaning camaraderie and warmth and friendliness. So really proud, we're proud to cultivate an inclusive space for everybody to feel safe and to, before COVID, meet others that have the same interest in craft beer.
For sure.
Now people just like yell at each other from 6 feet apart, but it's still cool to see people still interact and the human aspect of that. Like we still have outdoor seating in Montgomery County, so we have some fire pit tables that you can
I haven't been there
pull
for
up
that.
to. So
cool. Finding a way to still give people that opportunity for that interaction, and I feel like the best way to do it is around craft beer. Yeah. Honestly. Truly, honestly. So I think this is probably my last big question that I have about the beer. But I feel like whenever going to the grocery store or to more so, I guess, like a beer and wine store or something, all the beer, like craft beers in the cases or in the fridges, in the fridge has like great designs. Like the cans are what make me want to buy it. Like the types of things I like know the kind of beer that I like, but what is on the can is what sells me. And so even the first time, I've only been to Silver Branch once, but when I went, I saw people leaving the brewery and had cans in their hand, and the designs and everything on the cans are sick.
Yeah.
Like they're cool. They're really, really cool.
We're so fortunate to work with a local artist named Chris Bonnell. His Instagram handle is CTBONNELL, so Chris Bonnell. He's a local artist that just is so amazing. With every beer that we have, there's a story behind it. So if you come back to the tap room, I'll be happy to explain.
For sure.
Beers and the stories behind them. For example, like Lord Squeegee is one of our head brewers. Yeah, the sour, one of our sours. We've since expanded, but Chris Broome is one of our head brewers, and he actually, in one of the first weeks that he was working at Silver Branch, one of the items hanging from the ceiling hit the sprinkler, and thus making all this water come down, and we just had to squeegee it. So he just sprang into action, grabbed the squeegee. That's where Squeegee Master comes from. So all the different beers definitely have a story, and Chris Bonnell definitely kind of makes it come to life. We tell him an idea we have, and we it's always magic when it comes to his labels, and really appreciate him. He's really brilliant. So if you get a chance, follow him on Instagram, and
I will do so.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun labels coming out soon too. So
I've always wondered like how that happened, because seriously, like you go to the store to like get some drinks and it's hard to pick. They're all so exciting. You're like, what does this mean and what's this? So I was kind of always curious about like,
they're definitely ideas that come from the mind of not only the management team, but COO Brett Roybeson. He's got so many great ideas that he works with Chris really closely to come up with ideas and names of beer and different things like that. So it's behind the scenes is a lot of work they put into it. So you can really appreciate not just releasing beer but there's a story behind it, and that's what coming to the tap room is for, to hear a little bit more and learn more, because there are real people behind all these labels. So
that's really cool to know. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Do you guys collab at all with any of the other breweries that are in Silver Spring? I know it's Denison's is not too far, right? Or is that kind of far?
It's not too far away from us. The most recent collaborations we've done are with actually Oliver Brewing, based out of Baltimore.
Oh, so not even that, like not even too close. Okay. Like close-ish, but
we've done. The most recent collaboration with a local brewery in our area is with Astrolab.
Okay,
I see them. Vigilante. We did a Bach beer of one of our favorite guests, Dave. He rides around on a unicycle in downtown.
One of our favorite guests.
Probably catch him. Yeah, he's one of our regulars at both spots. So we decided to put him on a can because he's just like such a great guy. So
I want to start coming more often so I could be on a beer can.
Right. There's a story behind one time on Georgia Avenue, somebody stole a wallet, and he jumped on his unicycle and tracked him down and got the wallet back. So he's the unicycle vigilante. So that's a Bach beer that's available right now in our online store, and you can pick it up as well.
Cool. Okay. Seriously. Didn't know anything about those kind of things too. That's so cool. Like you said, community building. That's why breweries are so fun.
Yes.
They just like bring people together.
Exactly. So Silver Branch is all about the community and kind of creating a space for people to come, and it's always been, you know, the main goal is just to be super communal. So
for sure. So Malinda, working at a brewery, are you personally a big drinker?
So for myself, I have been a big drinker in the past. You know, growing up, it's just, you know, in American culture, I feel like they're like, oh, 21, you got to be 21 to drink. So, you know,
once you are, go crazy.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of my youth has been spent kind of dabbling into different drinks. So,
for sure.
I have since moved past all that. I do work for Silver Branch, but as of a year and a half ago, I have taken a hiatus. In my new role, I just wanted to define the lines and separate it from me. And in this industry, it's kind of a slippery slope sometimes to be able to focus on, you know, the things that you need to do. And for myself personally, like, you know, craft beer is delicious, and we're encouraged to try it all the time. But for myself, I was just wanting to stay focused on the trajectory of owning my own business one day. So I've taken a hiatus.
Well, let's dive into that. And I'm so excited about it. So for everyone listening and everyone to see this in the future, Linda is the general manager of a brewing company, and she does not drink, and has not for a year and a half, because she is so goal-oriented and has taken her time to drink, done her thing, but she knows what she wants. You know, she's prepped for the future, and she knows that alcohol gets in the way, and it does. 100%. How many times have I been like, oh my gosh, like I won't drink too much tonight? You do. And the next day, how long is your to-do list? And what do you do the next day? Nothing, because you're hungover or whatever. So I applaud you for that, because I feel like that is such a hard thing. No, I'm not even just saying it is a hard thing. Super, super hard, especially being surrounded by it all the time. So as the general manager of Silver Branch, is that your goal to continue doing that for the rest of your life? Or what are your hopes and dreams for the future? Let's dive a little deeper, because I know you have some big plans for yourself and for the community.
So I was born in Tacoma Park, raised in Silver Spring. So just being in Maryland, like I've been able to travel, but Maryland will always be home for me. So I really want to give back to the city that raised me, give back to Silver Spring, and hopefully one day open up my own business as a noodle concept. My mother is from Laos, from Southeast Asia. So opening up something and kind of, you know, bringing her recipes to light would be something that I want to do as an entrepreneur. So
yeah, that's so cool. So where did you go to high school first off?
I went to Paint Branch in Burtonsville. Go Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Panthers, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, I lived near Brookside Garden, so I grew up in Silver Spring too.
Cool.
And near Kennedy, I lived near Kennedy, but I actually went to Rockville. It was a whole, like, where my grandma lived, helped us carpooling early on, whatever. I went to Rockville, but I lived near Kennedy growing up, and now I live in Olney, so like outside of near Sherwood area. So also Maryland is home, like getting the opportunity to travel and do all those things, but then no matter what, like this is the place. So I feel like it's really awesome that you're incorporating your life and everything that you've experienced, and also like your cultural background into the things you want to do in the future is super cool. So with the noodle, it would be like a restaurant base. So can you like dive into that a little more? So your mom is from Laos, you said, and what types of recipes would you be bringing forth? Like what type of restaurant would you be making the noodles, or like how does that, what is your thought on what you want to build?
So the noodle concept, when we can start traveling again a little bit more, my plan is to do a Southeast Asian tour to eat street food, you know, do the hit Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and really go and check out all the ingredients that I want to bring back for my noodle concept.
So cool.
going to keep it a little bit hush hush, but I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
Only what you want to share. Only what you want to share. Please.
But I want it to be sustainable, vegan
For sure.
friendly, and just really good food, like not guilty. You know, at late at night, people want to eat like, you know, what's open, like after you go to the bar, it's like pizza. But for me, I want to create a noodle concept that's going to be gluten-free. Out of, you
People
know,
are gonna be so pumped.
rice noodle, like it's
Yeah.
friendly and be open late night. So that's my target audience there. So in downtown Silver Spring. So that's the plan.
Oh, girl, you are set. Seriously,
Yeah.
once life starts up again, that would be so cool. And honestly, if people, most of the time, if they had to pick, the reason they go get pizza is because pizza's the option.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to give the people what they want. You got to give them more options, things that they, you know, can get late night, and things that they haven't had. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful Thai restaurants in downtown Silver Spring, wonderful Ethiopian restaurants, but there's no Asian restaurants in Silver Spring. So that's definitely where I come into the picture, and we'll be able to give my community kind of where I'm from and my background. So.
No, I think it's super great that you're incorporating your culture into what you want to do. Are you a big chef at home? Is that like something you really enjoy doing?
I pretend I'm on Chopped like every night. I love cooking. I just feel like before I started working at Silver Branch, I've always loved to host.
Me too.
And always cook for my family.
Sure.
Like, even when I go to other people's homes, I'm the one like, so like, do you have a drink? Like, what are you drinking? You know,
right.
Like, I love just hosting. But yeah, cooking is definitely something that I inherited from my mother. She was a great cook, so I'm really fortunate that she shared a lot of her recipes with me. So yeah, cooking. I just got an Always pan. I don't know if you've heard of that, but
Always pan.
It's like
bread.
Handle, I think the handle is Our Place, and they came out with a pan that is just super easy to clean and use. So
like a literal.
Don't have one.
Like it's not like pan like. Okay, like a literal pan.
Like a pan, yeah.
I started.
I love like all different gadgets, like hoping
like
for
kitchen stuff.
Kitchen stuff.
Gotcha.
Check it out.
No, that's awesome. So, are you gluten-free, vegan, any of those things?
Gluten-free. So that's a part of the reason why when I first started working in the industry as well, like it's built an intolerance to I guess hops and whatever gluten. Right. So I had to chill out.
But it didn't start until you started working there?
It started right before I started working there, which is kind of ironic, but
it is kind of ironic.
Yeah, I have been able to taste some Silver Branch beer, which I was fortunate to try before, but with a lot of the tasting notes, my staff actually like try the beer and give me tasting notes, so I can like see it, smell it. My colleague Sophie actually was able to give me tasting notes on Nomageddon the other day. Her and Jonathan tried it. So Nomageddon is a double IPA, Belgian double IPA. So that's the collaboration that we did with Oliver Brewing. So they're able to, let me know like it's super citrusy, on the palate and the flavors of pineapple. So then I'm thus able to explain to customers and patrons, even without drinking, like you can still maintain your professionalism in your job and do your job like great.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, and I think that more and more, like as we grow, as we age, people are realizing that they have intolerances to different foods and things. My sister has all kinds of stomach issues, and I think it's like gluten and dairy. But I think that you understand it, but also just in general, it's good to be thinking about other people, because you go to so many restaurants and sometimes you don't have a choice, or it's very limited options. So the fact that you're bringing in your culture, but also thinking about people, and I feel like you're the type of person, even if you didn't have an intolerance, you'd also just be doing that, just in general. But I mean, it's important. And then it's like, even the people that have been going out doing their thing, they're like, I have an option, and it'll be delicious because you're going to, like you said, back to Southeast Asia to like find out about the ingredients, like real deal. And it's going to be so great. So do you have that on like a 5-year plan, or do you have any like timeline you kind of set for yourself as to when you kind of want to set that up, or you just kind of like figuring it out as you go?
I definitely have a couple years to get to Silver Branch. 5-year plan definitely.
For sure,
Next
yeah.
month or so. Right now, I'm just networking and gaining experience and learning all that I can from Brett and Christian, which are my bosses, the CEO.
For sure.
So they've been great mentors of mine, and I've been able to grow with Silver Branch. So it's just I'm super lucky to have landed in the place that I did because we're just all growing together at this point. So
No, definitely. If you ever see me looking down, just know I'm taking notes for more things.
sure.
Thank you. Like, I never want anyone to think I'm like not listening.
No problem.
I'm taking more notes. So after having the experience with working at the brewery and you opening a restaurant of your own, are you wanting to incorporate some of like beer and like brewing stuff into your new place, or is that kind of going to be something that you like know about and like love but like move forward from?
I definitely haven't ruled it out yet. Who knows what the future holds, but
Yeah.
definitely I'd be super fortunate if that was in the cards down the line. But I haven't
They'll be
really
pumped to have you.
thought that aspect. Yeah, like
Guarantee it.
possibly.
Yeah, girl, I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna be thinking of things and like make you think about things you didn't even think of. I'm like, whoop, whoop,
Yeah,
whoop,
right. Like, huh?
So I just have a personal question, but
Sure.
personal question. Yesterday, so Melinda shared that she doesn't drink alcohol right now, which is cool. And you were drinking yesterday. I asked you about it, the alcohol-free
Oh yeah,
beer.
wild creature.
So like,
One of
how does that
my
work? Like, does it actually? You said it's hoppy, so it tastes like an IPA. Because an IPA, the reason I think I like it too is because the flavor is like pretty consistent. You know, it's like you kind of know what you're gonna get.
definitely try it. One of my regulars, friend of mine, Tom O'Brien, he brought me in a non-alcoholic beer, which you know, some other people have given me some different ones too. I think there's like non-athletic brewing company. There's a bunch of brewing companies.
What's that mean?
A bunch of different companies that come out with beer that don't have the alcohol aspect. It's super.
I thought you said non-athletic.
I think that's what the company is called. I forget what it's called.
Okay. I was okay.
I think that there's just the process is the same. I'm not exactly sure, but it still tastes delicious. There's still
cool.
hops in it. Yeah, so.
Yeah, giving people.
I haven't dabbled too much into it. I say to kombucha sometimes, but
kombucha's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes that vinegar flavor gets you a little bit. Depends on the kind you get, but it's good.
Yeah.
Sure. Definitely good. So when we talked the other day, you said that a lot of your intention with the businesses and the things you want to build are also based off of women of color and empowering them and giving them a voice. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
For sure. So basically in brewing, the ratio of male to female isn't, 50-50.
Sure.
But just being in my position at the brewery in front of house, we do have, some diversity, but just there could always be more diversity. So we want to just expand and share that craft beer is not only for one demographic, it's for everybody.
Totally.
Learning about the process and kind of how it's made and all the different things, like, just inclusive of everyone is what we aim to be. So kind of myself being gay, being a minority, really want to be the face of Silver Spring, where it shows you that, like, as a future business owner, as an entrepreneur, that you don't have to look a certain way to work somewhere. You just got to give it a shot, and whatever you work hard at, you can definitely achieve. Like I started off as a server, and as you can tell, I'm a general manager now. So it's definitely what you put into it. It's not what you look like.
Girl.
Where you come from. It's just if you're willing to work hard at it. If you're given the chance, and in my position, I believe that everybody, if they're willing to work hard, deserves an opportunity. So I'm definitely fortunate in that sense.
Finishing my final note. Hold on. You are so right about all of those things. I think that it's really great. I'm going to toot your horn a little bit. I think it's really great how open you are about yourself yourself as a person and all of the things that you want to accomplish. The other day, you and I were having a conversation, and you were like, "Hey, hold up," and not anything negative, but you were like, "That is not what I am. Like this, I have so much to offer, so let me show you." And by no means was I ever trying to underestimate that, but like for you to be like, "Hey," and like getting on here and getting outside of your comfort zone to be like, the world has seen nothing yet.
Yeah, thank you
It's
so much. I
incredible.
really appreciate it.
No, of course, like the world has seen, the world has seen nothing yet. The sky's the limit. We realize that we look into the sky and we only see, we see the skies, we see the sky, we see the clouds, but as much as we try and touch and as high as we go up, we'll never reach it, So it's literally never ending. So you are opening through everything that you're doing, everything that you're planning for women of color, for people, for like Silver Spring, for Tacoma Park, for people from other countries and different cultures. Just people, not even one demographic or one culture. For people, you're opening doors in so many different areas. So go you. And we need more people like you. I think through this pandemic and through like life and things that have happened over the last couple months, people are starting to realize that some of them really need to change their way of life, like things need to change if we want it to be the real deal.
Mm-hmm. I came across a story the other day of a teacher that was trying to teach their students. So they brought a bunch of balloons to school and had the students blow up each balloon and write their name on them and just throw them into the hallway, right? So the students were like, all right.
They said their name was on the balloon?
Yeah, write your name in the balloon, blow it up, throw it out into the hallway was the directions. Okay. And so after that, the teacher goes, I'm going to give you some time to go out into the hallway and find your balloon. And the students were like, okay, but there's a ton of balloons in there. So they go out, try to find their balloon, and they can't find it. So the teacher's like, okay, you can't find it. So I want you to go outside into the hallway and pick up the first balloon that you see, read the name, and hand it to the person that it belongs to. So the students were like, okay, that's easy. Let's do it.
Right.
Pick up the balloon, give it to the person.
Uh-huh.
And by that time, in a matter of minutes, everybody had their balloons in their hand, and the teacher goes, well, the balloon represents happiness. And if you go searching for your own happiness, you may not always find it, but, if you help others find their happiness, you will find your own in doing so. So that was a really cool story that, really resonated with me, that during this whole pandemic, if you think about others and, kind of help each other out and kind of socially distance and listen to what, the state and county say, we'll kind of get through all the things together. So.
Yeah, and I think, first of all, cool. Didn't hear that story. That's sick. Yeah. And I think teachers blow my mind all the time. They come up.
I know.
And it's just like,
you're a teacher, right?
Yes, that's what I have my degree in, and I work with kids now, but I kind of work for myself. Yes, technically speaking. But I hear things from them, and I come up with stuff too, but I hear things from teachers all the time, and I'm just like, these are the things that they talk about in school and in general the kids remember. That is just
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Love teachers. Love them. So.
Yeah, and just initiating real stuff. And I think that the pandemic has taught us all a lot. And even though there's going to be a new norm, even as we go through time, even once everyone has the vaccine, things are going to be different than they were before.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's totally a bad thing all the time. We've, had to endure things, but I feel like it's all taught us a lesson at the same time. But I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Dang. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. That's so cool.
Right? Help others find their balloons, guys. It'll bring you happiness. So.
It will, and we all have we're all so intentional and have such a purpose to do good things. And even if you don't acknowledge it or know it right away, there's a purpose for you to help someone else, to change things for other people. And like I said, Malinda, one of the reasons why when you said some of these things, literally, when you texted me back the other day, I was like, oh. I was like, she's got this. This will be so good. There's just so much opportunity for change and things to be different and for us to make an impact. And that's what quarantine in this last year has taught us, and just what we're ready to do in the upcoming year. Totally. So do you have any tips or advice for anyone who is either like hesitant on going after something that they want to go after, like in the future, something they're kind of nervous about, like following their dreams, or just tips in general?
If it scares you, you should probably do it, is what I would say. If it scares you, if it scares the shit out of you, if you're nervous about it and it's something you've been thinking for a while, just do it. Because if you do it and you fail, well, you did it, and you're not just in the same place that you were. So just go for it. I mean, there's nobody like you in the world, so just live as the best person that you can be and try your hardest, and kind of, I guess, put yourself first is what I would say, and kind of think and have a plan for yourself, because you're the only one that can change your stars. So
Yes. And as hard as that can be, I feel like that's such a, as simple as it might be to like say it, I feel like for people to acknowledge that they are in control of their life when we have so many people impacting us and coming in from every direction, that can be so challenging. But you're right, you are going to be the one in the end who's going to align your stars.
Yep. In this journey, you're the pilot. So I mean, a lot of what I've told my staff is kind of, you got to worry about your mental health. You got to take care of yourself in that way, whether it's like making a meal for yourself, or meditating, or just taking some time for yourself, of just the peace and quiet, and all the noise going on around us. It's been a tough year in the first week or so of this year. I mean, this month. Sorry. Yeah. It's
for
been
sure. Yeah.
pretty crucial. So kind of just take some time for yourself. Do things that you like, nurture hobbies, get into new hobbies. Like, that's the advice that I would give, because through this all, time's going by, but it's also like what you make of it. So
for sure. And focus on doing the things that make you happy, and if you don't have anything in your life that does that right now, then look into something new. There's so many exciting things about life. Yeah, create it.
I mean, I feel like ideas and things that come to my mind, if I don't stop and kind of write it down. I love writing. Dabble into poetry a little bit, or like painting sometimes. Your creative side is dying to come out, so just do it. Take some time for yourself and do it. I mean, in the hustle and bustle of all these things, like jobs and school and other things, like, they will be there, but taking care of yourself is definitely number one. So.
Yeah, and as hard as it can be, sometimes it's just like the key thing to remember at the end of the day, for sure. Yeah. Well, thank you. I am so glad that.
Thank you.
We got to talk. You are so welcome. There are so many exciting things coming up for you in the future. I'm going to bring friends to Silver Branch in the next couple weeks for sure, and check everything out a little further so we can get to talk more. But yeah, everyone be on the lookout for all that Malinda has to offer in the future. Do you have a name that you said you're keeping it quiet, some of the things that you're going to share about the future? Do you have any idea about the name of your business, or are you not sure yet?
I wanted to probably call it My Mother's Noodles in Laotian, which translates to Huami Mekoi.
Do you speak, what is the language?
Laotian.
Do you speak Laotian?
I do. I speak it fluently. I mean, I learned it growing up, so I do speak it fluently. I can't read it, but for sure. So, My Mother's Noodles.
Very cool. I love it. That's so cool. And like I said, so many of the things that you shared are so personal, which makes it so much more special and relatable, and I feel like makes other people want to do those kind of things too. Because when it comes from the heart, or when it's something that you want or you can relate to it, it makes it that much more real.
I totally agree. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. You're welcome. Such a pleasure. Where can everyone find you? I will tag you in our chat when we finish.
On Instagram, it's Mali, Mali, underscore INT. So
Perfect. I will.
Find me on Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. You are
Thank
wonderful.
you.
And I'm so excited for your future. Have a good night and I'll talk to you soon.
See you around. Bye.
Bye bye.